Please note, the following video will contain spoilers of Black Clover. You have been warned. So, Black Clover. The last time we talked, we really weren't that impressed. Neither were a whole bunch of other anime YouTubers who also made videos on this show. Now, I've been watching Black Clover with my wife, and we've continued to watch it, even though it did slow down a little bit and kind of fell off. We caught up and we kept watching, and I'm really happy we did. Now, the animation in Black Clover, traditionally, at least the first 12 to 13 episodes, was really like just lazy and choppy. There really wasn't that much animation in there. But recently, with the upcoming fights in this magical dungeon, things have really started to heat up, the story has progressed, and the animation has taken off. When I first started watching Black Clover, the intro and outro to the anime, I always felt lacked luster. But going into this new arc, we have a new intro and a new outro, which I'm like super impressed. I mean, there's a lot of detail, a lot of frames, music is awesome, it gets you pumped up, and that's what a good anime opening should do, is get you pumped up and excited for the show. And I love this opening song. I actually have been listening to this in the gym because it's so good. It gets me so pumped and excited and ready to go. Now, in this new arc of Black Clover, we get introduced to the Diamond Kingdom. So Asta and Yuna, the main characters, they belong to Clover Kingdom, and we didn't really realize, you know, there's some factions within Clover Kingdom, like the royals and the peasants, but we didn't realize that there is a Diamond Kingdom as well. And in this new arc, we get introduced to the Diamond Kingdom as this dungeon appears in the middle of nowhere, and it's basically on the border of the two kingdoms, which are at war. And this is interesting because now we get to see this whole other nation or kingdom with all their powerful warriors, and then Clover Kingdom sends their powerful warriors, and they meet in the middle in this dungeon, and they both want to get the treasure, but only one of them is going to walk out with it, as they have to fight in order to get that treasure, which is actually pretty cool. It was exciting. It felt like some D&D or some World of Warcraft kind of stuff. And we got introduced to a super powerful enemy named Mars. Now, in this battle with Mars, you finally get to see Asta, the main character, who up until this point has been seriously just annoying, actually turn into quite the badass. And halfway through this episode, I realized that, wow, I'm like cheering for Asta, like this character that I've thought was so annoying. I'm like cheering for this dude right now. I have hopes for him, and he's kicking more ass than any of these other like super powerful wizards, right? And it was thrilling. It really got me pumped up. Now, I don't want to spoil too much in case you haven't seen it, but in the middle of this fight, you start to see Asta progress a little bit more as a warrior. And what that means is, initially you just think that he's a guy with no magic. You know, all he has is a sword, and he basically can negate magic. Like, they tell you that from pretty early on in the series. That's not really a spoiler, but you don't find out until one of these episodes in the battle with Mars that he can actually kind of progress his abilities, like, as the story goes on, which is going to make it more interesting. Now, there's so many similarities to Naruto. I said that before in the last video. I still believe that this show is just like a remake of Naruto, but in the fairy tale world. But basically, instead of the main character being Naruto, who isn't good at jutsus, but he can still use them, Asta, the main character, is more like Rock Lee. Like, he has no magic, he can't use it, but he's still a badass and incredibly strong. So imagine like the story of Naruto, but instead of Naruto being the main character, it's Rock Lee, and that's kind of what Black Clover is. Rock Lee, by the way, is him and Guy are my favorite characters in Naruto, just FYI. If you guys are interested in watching Black Clover in either sub or dub, you can watch both of them on Verve, who sponsored this video. Click the link in the description and get a 30-day free trial of Verve Premium, which allows you ad-free access to channels such as Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Funimation, Cartoon Hangover, and Curiosity Stream. Verve Now lets you watch your shows on the go without an internet connection. New channels and shows are constantly being added to Verve every single week. And you can get all of this amazing content just by clicking on the link in the description and getting 30 days free today. Now after this arc, there's like an award ceremony, and Asta and the rest of the crew, they get to go meet the Wizard King. He's like the Hokage, and in doing this, there's a point where they're all like sitting around like eating some food and stuff like that, and there's a point in this where he and all the other Magic Knights, who are also getting decorated at that point, are in this like great hall, like, you know, eating and stuff, but they're all from these different factions, okay? So these Magic Knights are basically like Chunin. They're like very powerful wizards, and then their leaders are more like the Jonin. It's even funny because there's this one point where Asta goes face to face with one of the leaders of the Magic Knights of his group, and I like to compare that to like a Jonin. And Asta's like, oh my god, the pressure from this guy. And it was exactly like when Naruto first encountered his first Jonin, Zabuza, and he's like, I can just feel the pressure in the air. There's so many similarities, but seeing these new Magic Knights and everything, they look pretty damn cool. I love their designs, actually. The art is phenomenal. The animation has picked up, the effects have picked up, and everybody basically hates Asta. But as Asta progresses through the story, you can see that more and more people are learning like just how amazing he is. And they start, you know, bonding with him. At first, everybody pretty much just hates him and throws him aside, calls him a peasant, stuff like that. But through his journeys and through his accomplishments, he starts earning more and more respect from the cast. And this is kind of nice. Again, it's pretty much like Naruto as well. As, you know, in the beginning, everybody hated Naruto, but through his accomplishments, he started making friends, and then he eventually did become the Hokage and earn everybody's trust. It's pretty much like that here, and we're following the same story again, where Asta is having to earn everybody's trust from being this kid with no magic, but now he's starting to defeat these super powerful enemies pretty much by himself that other wizards can't even do. So now all of a sudden, people are like, oh, I was wrong about you. And when all these other Magic Knights, these Chunin and Jonin, are like talking smack to Asta, and he gets up on that table and raises his fists and he's like, I'll show you. I was like, hell yeah, man. I mean, that felt really, really good. I love the character development. I love how he just stands up to bullies. It was awesome. And he did stand up to them for the most part. Now, we didn't get to see him fight like the super powerful wizards, the leaders of each of these Magic Knight clans. We know that these guys are like the peak of wizards, but pretty much everybody else, it was clear Asta could have whooped any of their asses in a 1v1. So I have not been reading the manga for Black Clover, as I've heard from a lot of people, especially on Twitter. They've been telling me the manga is really good, it gets even better and better, and I'm really excited about that. I wanted to give this anime a try without reading the manga because I didn't want to be spoiled, and so far I've been really happy about that. Typically I do read the mangas, and then, you know, once you read the manga and then you see it animated, it is cool, but it's so much better when you get taken by surprise, in my opinion. Especially like if it's some spoilers on Dragon Ball Super, you still get fully surprised, in my opinion, when you see the episode. But if you've read the whole manga chapter and then just to see it animated, it's like you know exactly what's going to happen, so it's not quite the same thing. I'm swinging my hands around so much that my watch thinks I'm having a dynamic workout. So guys, I'm not going to be covering Black Clover on an episode-to-episode basis. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be covering any anime on an episode-to-episode basis, except maybe One Punch Man, because I absolutely love One Punch Man. But I do feel it's important, if you guys are anime fans as well, to at least cover like overall macro level comments of these animes, which, you know, could be good for you to watch. I just recently covered Hajime no Ippo, one of the best animes of all time. Just absolutely stunning, incredible anime in every sense of the word. If you haven't seen Hajime no Ippo, go watch it. Now, Black Clover, I was super iffy about it in the beginning, but now that I've kept with it, it's getting a lot better. Like, I'm seriously impressed at the quality and how it's increased, and the story's developing. Everything has increased like ×3 since the beginning. So, except for Asta's voice, it's still. So my recommendation is, you know, patience is a virtue, guys. Sometimes with anime, with anything in life in general, you just have to stick with it and give it, you know, chance after chance, and then finally it will come around. Sometimes, you know, like the animation studio, they may have had to practice on the anime, they may have had to bring in some extra people, they may have to work some kinks out, so it's like, it's not really good of us to just judge right away a show or a story without giving it some time to develop, and I'm really happy that I didn't do that here with Black Clover. You know, when I first started watching it, I was like, I'd rate this like a 5 out of 10. Now I'm starting to say more like an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's really starting to get a lot better, and I definitely recommend it to you guys if you want something new to watch. And if you like Naruto and you like Fairy Tail, you're almost certainly going to like Black Clover because it's very, very similar. But I do love what they're doing here, and I love that Asta is beginning to progress as a character. I love seeing him, you know, I don't want to spoil too much if you haven't seen it, but I love that he's really starting to like fill in his shoes so far in this arc, and he's becoming more and more exciting to watch and go into battle. So I like it. I think you guys should definitely give it a shot, and you know, maybe I'll make every 7 episodes or something like that. I'll make another video and give you guys an update. Let me know if you want to hear more about Black Clover, but I know the initial reactions to the show were horrible, but I gotta admit, man, it's gotten a whole lot better. Don't forget to punch that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and comment on what your thoughts of Black Clover are down below. I'll be talking to you guys very soon.